Hi everyone, today I want to talk about this book right here called Devils, Demons, Possessed. It goes by many names, but it is by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I have yet to read The Idiot and, what was it? The Brothers Karamazov, um, just yet, but yeah, for now, this is probably the best work I've read so far. And maybe one of my favorite books actually because it is just so good. I mean, the plot is one thing. The plot is amazing with the main plot, the many subplots that goes around, and somehow interweaves into one cohesive narrative. But more so, what made this book truly special, and what I think why it is it's such an important book, especially today, is just the amount of relevant themes and how Dostoevsky is able to, with his characters, paint a a picture of, I mean, his society, but is able to transcend that and make our way into our society, where a lot of the characters that are shown here represent our individual struggles and also struggles on the level of society, which you see a lot in the political climate today. And what you see in this book is Dostoevsky's main gripe and his critique of ideas and beliefs. The ideas are essentially the devils that possess the people in this town, and that is how the plot unfolds and the chaos starts kind of happening. It's based on, I mean, Dostoevsky refers to many biblical quotes here, but the story is based on uh, I forget the name of the. It's a parable, I think, about a group of swine, like pigs, and there's a man that's possessed by a demon, and Jesus one day comes to visit the man, and then he extracts the demon out of the man, and the demon runs out and then goes into a, a horde of swine, possesses the swine, and the swine run into a lake or a body of water where they self destruct themselves. Basically, the plot follows a little town, and the swine in this town are like the huge cast of characters that Dostoevsky gives us. It's like 20 characters. I had to make a character sheet just to keep track, and I had to refer back to the sheet like countless amount of times because I was so confused. But yeah, it follows this group of characters. Mainly, there's a guy named Stepan Trofimovich, his son Pyotr, who's the main antagonist. He's the main guy who leads a revolutionary movement, uh, and tries to stir that inside this town to get a revolution going. Stepan is his father. Um, it also follows this very intriguing character named Stavrogan. Before I read the book, yeah, I heard a lot of things about Stavrogan being a very compelling character, one of Dostoevsky's greatest characters. So I was immediately hooked onto it. I mean, I wanted to learn more about this guy. Um, but yeah, it follows these three characters. They sort of represent um, the big things that Dostoevsky was noticing in his time. I believe Stepan represents like the liberalism movement in Russia, and he critiques through Stepan's character of the sort of the the need for change, the call for change, but no progress is happening. Pyotr represents, of course, the nihilistic revolutionary, and Stepan is really interesting in that he represents nothing. I mean, he is a nihilist, but he doesn't even believe in nihilism. He is indifferent. He is apathetic. And Dostoevsky mentions a another quote from the Bible. It's in Revelations that talks about this idea of lukewarmness. Uh, I guess there's a term that refers to a lukewarm Christian as somebody who, well, claims themselves a Christian and practices Christian beliefs and engages with them, believes in God, in Christ, but he doesn't follow the Bible's code at all. He betrays it. He betrays himself, and but he still calls himself a Christian. And this idea of lukewarmness is what gives the novel, like, it just brings everything, how even how complex it was, all the ideas, all Dostoevsky's critique on nihilism, atheism, and it weaves it all together. His idea that the devils are the ideas, and lukewarmness is a big thing here, because like a lukewarm Christian, every single one of these three main characters represent that in some sort of way. Stepan is a liberal, right? He's a very passionate man who has a lot of great ideas for Russia and his future, and he also critiques a lot of Russia's ideologies and the current state. But that's all he does. He calls himself a poet. He calls himself like an intellectual. And though he writes, he has nothing in the world to show of himself. So all he does is every day, every week, he would meet with like a discussion group, and they would just talk around politics about these good ideas, and yeah, that's all they do. But nothing ever changes, nothing ever moves forward. There's no progress. It's just people talking about ideas. That's it. Then you have Pyotr. Pyotr is not necessarily lukewarm in the traditional manner, but he, I think, represents the idea of where lukewarmness can, where that roots from. And for Stepan, lukewarmness is his obsession with an idea. That's like the root I think Dostoevsky is trying to get us at. Pyotr believes in the common cause, and it's not very clear what he's trying to build except to make a revolutionary movement. I mean, there's no main end goal of this. It's just he wants to build something, he wants to build a movement, he wants to get people stirred up, and he wants to do something with that. But there's no motive other than for the greater good or for the common cause. And that's the idea that is possessing him, because that's his lukewarmness, that all he is doing is playing off a mere illusion. There's no concrete end goal to this except a greater good. So that's Pyotr. Stavrogin is honestly what brings the novel together, because he is a lukewarmness. He is the character that really is the epitome of what Raskolnikov from Crime and Punishment wanted to be. He is a man that's completely apathetic. He sees no meaning, and he's tried everything. Like, this is the crazy part. He's tried everything in his life. He did everything, but still he cannot find meaning. And it almost makes him devastating in certain ways until you hear of the heinous crimes he did in his confession and whatnot. But he believes in nothing. I mean, in the book, he preaches atheism, and then to one character, and to another character he would say that, oh well, Christianity is better. So yeah, he just cannot get a gripe at anything. And the reason why he does this is because I think that he sort of sees the devils, the ideas that are plaguing people, and he sees that, oh, this is not good. So he lets go of any idea, any belief that can make people possessed in his eyes, or completely radical, and he lets go of them. And he thinks that now he is free. So now he can do, well, now he's not like these people. He's like kind of more superior. to them. But he finds out quickly that this is not the case. There's something else missing in his life. And even though he's very charming, he's very attractive, he's handsome, he has lots of money, he has lots of status, and people are very intrigued by him, he feels very empty, and there's a deep void that he can't gripe with. And in the book, it's mentioned that he feels like there's a demon inside of him, and he doesn't know what it is. But yeah, again, in this idea of lukewarmness, it's just, even though he's devoid of ideas, he is not changing either. Even though he takes action, even though Piotr takes action, nothing is changing. In fact, you can see they're going backward because of all the havoc they're causing. But yeah, it makes you question, like, what is the point now? I mean, Stepan, he didn't take action. He was obsessed with ideas. Pyotr took action. He was obsessed with ideas, but that led to a revolution. And Stavrogan doesn't believe in anything, and he only takes action. He's a womanizer. He had many affairs. He's trying to self-pleasure himself, try to search some satisfaction in his life, but he can't find any inherent meaning. So what is Dostoevsky trying to say then? If any of these things are not well, give us meaning, or avoid these dangerous things, avoid us being possessed by these ideas. But I think what all these characters were missing is a spoiler. Dostoevsky, I think, points us to this answer in Shatov's his son's birth. Like the idea that, ideas are intangible. They're just illusions. They're all in our minds. They're words. They're concepts. They're just foreign to us. We can't hold them by the hand, and we can't talk to them. It's just there. But the birth of Shatov's son, which happens in the middle of complete chaos. Like, there was a fire, there was arson. Pyotr was committing all sorts of murders across town, and this child is born. And it's like a starking contrast, but I think he's trying to make a point, Dostoevsky, that this is the cure. Like, it is not ideas, it is not beliefs, it is not the belief of nothing, but it's that the reason why Stepan was struggling, Pyotr was causing havoc, and why Stavrogan couldn't find meaning in anything, even though he was taking action, is that they all, even protagonists and antagonists alike, did not value these tangible human needs, I guess, if you can put it that way. The beauty of creation through the child, or valuing love, friendship, family, these type of things. And you can see that in Stepan. Stepan, since he was obsessed with ideas, his relationship with his peers completely collapsed. His relationship with his son Pyotr, who would eventually become a revolutionary, partly due to this, is his relationship with his sons is not good. His relationship with his employer Varvara is also incredibly complex and sort of not good either. Like, they can't understand each other well enough. And Stepan goes through the whole story as this sort of the source of all the comedy, because of how ridiculous sometimes their relationship is. But it's just that Dostoevsky is highlighting that they can't find what it is that makes them feel so empty. And it is just more tangible. It's just a book about everything. I mean, I found this book very insightful in the way that I've been approaching writing and creating art and engaging with art, because I always held books to a very high standard, sometimes too high. I always caught myself um, just liking books for their ideas, right? Um, and part of that is because that was my purpose, just in the ideas and the philosophy present and explored in the books, but not the things themselves in real life. Um, Books are supposed to help you lead that, support that. Um, but I was kind of assuming that that was all in the books, and that my life was in the books. Um, and I think part of that was because I didn't really have a sense of meaning. Well, I did, but I was I feel I was kind of misled in the sense that books or philosophy will give me that, but these were ideas again. Um, I think the main takeaway from if I had to take away one thing is just to serve something or have a sense of duty, I guess, to some higher thing. Obviously, Dostoevsky, and with Stepan's eventual death, he sees it in God, that we should that this higher form is in God, and with God love. And I think, yeah, it could be God too, but it can also be just serving a cause greater than ourselves. Like for me, I would always chase uh, self satisfaction in my writing, right? There's nothing greater than just being pleasured by my own writing, just writing for the pleasure. But there's no greater thing. So whenever things got hard, or I just didn't understand, I was like, oh no, this shouldn't be hard if it's pleasurable. So then I kind of just spiraled down, and I lost that sense of meaning for a time. But if I had that sense of purpose, that sense that I was serving, that I could write this book and maybe help other people, perhaps maybe, then I could understand, I could justify that, oh, yeah, this is hard, but eventually I can. This book will be published and it can help many people, right? So I think that's what I was missing. That's part of why I kind of relate to Stavrogan in some eerie way. As crazy as that sounds, because Stavrogan, all he chased was self pleasure, self satisfaction. He was trying to find meaning in his own satisfaction. So he was chasing things for himself with the womanizer that he is, going through affairs, going through many different women, participating in a duel, and not even doing the duel. I mean, he went in a duel, and every time the opponent shot at him, he would just shoot in the air. And he tried to find pleasure in that, and he couldn't even find pleasure. It was ridiculous. Um, Enduring a slap to the face and smiling. He was just trying to find some sense of satisfaction, but nothing could give him that. And what Stavrogan, I guess, was missing was that he couldn't accept that there was something higher than him, that there was something more than this himself, and that he had to satisfy himself to be fully satisfied with himself, I guess. There was maybe something else that was waiting. But yeah, he couldn't find that. I guess in some way we all have some sort of Stavrogans in ourselves. But yeah, I mean, this book, I thought I was reading going into, I was thinking it was just gonna be a psychological thriller, critiquing politics, atheism, nihilism, which is still all good and all, but I never expected to find such relatable characters, Stepan and Stavrogan, to some element, and be able to get almost this kind of this self help, if you will, through this book. Even though it's not really of course it's not self help, but yeah, it did wonders for me, and I've yet to even finish annotating. I'm like maybe a quarter of the way writing it on my notebook, but yeah, it's an amazing story. If you guys have not read it, I mean, if you were able to skip the spoilers, then yeah. But it's an amazing novel regardless. Its plot is good, but its philosophy I think is even greater. Yeah, I just want to get out of the way, but thank you guys for watching so much, and yeah, there'll be more videos like this to come. Bye bye.